Hey everyone, so thank you for tuning into this video and into my channel. So this video is going to be about the planetary configurations, the archetypes, and the energies that they reflect, and how this might be showing what's going on with the collective and with us as individuals. Just for this upcoming week, that's the focus. At the end of this video, if you watched all of it, you will gain an insight into the archetypical energies operating within and underneath the material and the physical exterior forms of everybody and everything around you. You'll just get a sense of that collective shared unifying life and essence and unifying presence within all of us. You'll get in touch with that and see how that's being reflected and manifesting in each one of us and in the collective. Hey everyone, so the planetary energies for this week, there's a couple of them. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the ones that I feel are a little bit more enduring and long lasting, because I feel like those kind of create the more like foundational energy, the longer cycles, and then go into the more shorter transiting, shorter duration aspects, because I feel like those are understood within the context of the larger cycles. So the first major aspect is Uranus in Aries creating a square with both lunar nodes, the south lunar node in Capricorn and the north node in Cancer. This Uranus in Aries energy. What does it reflect? Well, I think it manifests differently for everyone and for the collective, always. Archetypes are archetypes. So I like to discuss the archetypes and the energies, and I feel like in doing so, it might speak to your own experience and your own unique expression of it, and through your own filtration system, your own layering and multidimensionalities, you know, and ever-changing from moment to moment ways, right? So this Uranus and Aries energy, what are they about? Uranus is the two pillars, one human, one divine, unified by the cross of matter, led by the circle of spirit. It has also been expressed as a woman given birth. At the beginning, I thought that was a little strange. Now I understand the idea, and the idea is that it is a giving birth. It is something original, a creation archetype, okay? That's why it usually is, one of the keywords is like revolution, rebellious, you know, original, individualistic, genius, totally outside the walls, breakthrough, right? But why? Because it is channeling, it is connecting to that mental plane, to that one universal mind, because let's understand that, like, there are no ideas that are original, right? All the inventions in the future already exist, and we can all tap into them. Our minds / Mercury is like an antenna, a receptor, a conduit for the concepts and ideas of the one mind, the universal mind. Hence why Mercury is a lower octave in astrology of the higher octave. Uranus, the one universal mind. This is Uranus coming through. And how does this show up for us as individuals? It shows up as our own genius, our own individuation. Whenever we go out and we don't follow the status quo and really just connect to our own genius, like we have this own like really unique idea and vision about how things can be within whatever sphere our own inner genius is manifesting through, that is Uranus energy. Like, it seems erratic, it seems like way off the wall, way left wing, because it's something that hasn't been seen before. It's not a norm, it's completely unconventional, opposite of conventionality, / status quo / Saturn. So this energy in Aries is the energy, the fire to be, the I am energy within us, the voice that says, this is what I want to do. This is who I am. This is my identity. I do this, I act upon this, these are my desires. This energy, wherever it is in the chart, is where there's some initiation of activities, some new birthing of some new cycle within us. So this Uranus and Aries combination is like a birthing, a new evolutionary cycle of us breaking through and saying, we're channeling our divine genius, unique, individual, creative light, right? Our own inner genius, we're channeling that in our own personal identity. I'm becoming, I am that energy, that genius. And remember, we've already gone through this transit of Uranus in Aries. Right now, it just retrograded back into Aries, and we'll go into Taurus for the next 7 years, but approximately 7 years. I'll show below how long actually in the comment section it will transit for once I do some more research, but basically that process has been kind of done, but now we're going back into it to kind of, you can say, kind of like dip our toes back into this creative fire, this fire in us. And the fact that it's creating the square aspect between the South and the lunar node is interesting during the retrograde period, because whatever energies are in the midpoint, right in between the South node, are familiar behaviors and patterns and gifts and abilities, and the North node, our evolutionary path, where we're heading. There is this on the fence kind of feeling and experience, because we're being pulled and we're still drawn and fascinated and intrigued, and not by our more familiar patterns, and comforting, and you can say limiting and restricting and maybe stagnant ways of being that keep us comfortable, right? Because they're familiar, and not completely letting go of those. And these having to do with Capricorn energy, with our social persona, for example, our work, our profession, our career, whoever we are out in society, in their community, that is our Capricorn energy, how we go out into the world and function and gain that security out in the world, which is, let's just say it as it is, it's money, it's financial. So this is our, you can say, career, profession, our function within the collective. So the South node, familiar behavior patterns in Capricorn, squaring this Uranus in Aries energy, is like, you know, this genius that we want to personify and embody and become, and have that be really like who our voice becomes and who we are, right? That Uranus Aries energy squaring the South node Capricorn is like instigating that Capricorn energy into activity. At the same time, it might be a little comfortable and not want to let go of that security, because Capricorn likes security and doesn't want to try something new, like that Uranus Aries energy wants to just get in action spontaneously, just go out and do it, right? Just fuck it and do it. So that's that energy dynamic. That's how it's on the fence, so to speak. And that's where what that North node Cancer is. You know, North node is the evolutionary path. Cancer is establishing the emotional security within, so that we are not pulled left and right by the ebbs and flows of the psychic oceans that we are within, right? Like whenever we are around people, there's just a lot of emotions and feelings in the psychic environment. And so Cancer is all about this enriched psychic life and learning to be centered within one's own inner light. Hence, the symbol being a crab that carries its home on its back, therefore feels at home wherever it finds itself, and can walk both on land, be practical and grounded, centered, and in water, in the feelings and the emotions, showing this dual security and centeredness and groundedness, you can say. So that's that North Node in Cancer energy, squaring this Aries energy. This is like a classic fire and water. Cancer water wants to kind of like go back in, feel things out, be a little easy and try things little by little, you know? Cancer is a very sensitive, very kind of like sentimental, timid energy. Aries just wants to go, go, go. So this energy is conflicting within us. You know, Aries wants to just get into action. Cancer wants to kind of feel things out. There's that inner fire and water, this timid shyness, sensitiveness, and this fire and action energy. These are the archetypes. So this whole dynamic of Uranus and Aries squaring these two lunar nodes is, in my intuitive understanding of these energies and these archetypes as I just described them, you know, we can all have our own intuitive understandings. I encourage you to kind of, you know, just think about, soak in the archetypical energy information, contemplate it on your own self. But from my intuitive, I guess, understanding, there is this activation, reactivation, and we already gone through that activation, through that Uranus Aries transit, and now we're going kind of back retrograde to during this third decade of Aries energy for Uranus. And with the square, it feels like we're still a little hesitant. And there's this on the fence energy. And we're learning to kind of let go of familiar ways of establishing security in the outside world. Careers and professions, they have to be aligned with our internal truth. Who we really want to embody, that creative within, that genius within, they have to align. They're wanting to find a balance. They're just like tugging at each other, you know, they're just pulling at each other. There's gotta be some type of resolution in some type of way. At the same time, that fire-water energy, same way. So there's a lot of earth, fire, water energy between us and a lot of activity. The second major aspect I wanted to talk about is the grand water trine that's still kicking off at the beginning of the week between the North Node in Cancer, yet again coming into action, right? Mercury in Scorpio and Chiron in Pisces. The water trinity reflects the water archetypes, the feelings, the emotions, the psychic, astral, emotional, collective body. To have three planets highlighting and emphasizing and activating these energies, these archetypes of the water signs, all three of them simultaneously at the same time, and so precisely, is reflecting this harmony within the collective body. There's definitely been some healing / Chiron of ourselves, right? And there's also been a learning, an evolution in being able to take care of ourselves and fulfill our own emotional needs / North Node / Cancer, right? And this has been and is reflected in our new perception and way of thinking, and being aware of these energies within Mercury / Scorpio, of our own inner deaths and recreation and inner rebirth. Again, our way of thinking, data processing, our own intellect is and has gone into the underworld, and now can perceive this, and now there's a harmony. Now we can perceive these dark inner realms and depths of the soul, Mercury / Scorpio, and see the inner healing / Chiron, Pisces, and how it's connected to the universal healing and of the collective, and then also connected to that North Node evolutionary lessons of establishing a security within / Cancer. So That's that energy that's been going on. A lot of healing and a lot of upgrading our own perception to being more aware of the depths of our own soul and the depths of our own inner healing and the healing going around us as well. And another big deal is Mercury enters Sagittarius on Wednesday. So the Mercury has been in Scorpio and has been in Scorpio for quite some time, right? And it's gone retrograde in Scorpio. And it even created this grand trine with the healer archetype, Chiron, and the North Node evolutionary path in Cancer. So it's kind of gone through a lot of emotional healing, purging, death, and now it's moving into this kind of like, it's almost like, imagine the clouds clearing and moving into like this heavenly little realm. It's like, wow, I can see, you know, I can see all the fucking shit that goes down underneath because I went through it. And I have this larger kind of understanding, and I can kind of understand the principles that make up creation, that make up death, that make up rebirth. I kind of have a way more of an intuitive understanding as to how these inner workings, how these models of reality, of the inner reality and the exterior, the micro and the macro, work. This is Sagittarius energy. Mercury coming into this archetype just reflects that, again, collectively, we are gaining a more logical sense and understanding as to the principles and the inner workings of our own inner depths / Mercury Scorpio that we went through. And now we have a new, maybe you can say, belief system, a new way of understanding how we function within Mercury / Sagittarius. So this week, the sun is in Sagittarius, the archetype of the arrow pointing heavenward, or the symbol of the centaur, the half human, half animal, with the bow and arrow pointing heavenward, symbolizing the aspect and phase of our evolution in which we are attempting to liberate ourselves from our lower nature, from lust, from greed, from desire for things of, again, you know, just solely dense material, physical ambitions, and learning more about the creative arts that get us in touch with the celestial, universal energies. Again, that horse centaur energy is being highlighted a lot right now within the cosmos, with Sun in Sag and this Chiron, Pisces, trine, grand trine activation, you know, a lot about liberating that self from the lower nature, from anything that's dense and keeping us in this material, dense world of survival, and getting us more in touch with this universal energy of abundance. So that's that energy that at the end of the week is going to be entering into it's going to be entering into a trine with Uranus and Aries. That's something to look forward to. The sun and Uranus, again, Uranus, the universal mind, in this fiery energy of being and becoming Aries, trine the sun, will, spirit, the creative life in Sag, this philosophical, cosmological nature and liberation of energy of self is, I don't know how it's going to show up for you, but for me it feels like there's this activation between the higher mind and the way of being, these two fires working together. It feels like a lot of creative energy. So this is coming more next week and will be getting and being felt by the end of this week. The moon begins in Capricorn, a lot more serious, conjunct the South Node and Pluto. And again, these energies are about embodying our inner truths in our collective function, in our careers, in our professions. So all this philosophical energy, all this watery, emotional healing energy, that's just being reflected in this moon, kind of looking at our careers, our professions, the way that we seek security in the outside world / Capricorn. We're kind of just reflecting upon that. Our thoughts, our minds, our awareness is circled around that, or at least up until Monday, Tuesday, once we enter into Aquarius. And Aquarius energy within this fiery philosophical Sag energy is more thinking about the humanitarian, you can say, impact of our efforts, thinking about how our belief systems, our truth that we're seeking is connected to the humanity at large, you know? And this is, again, you know, this lunar energy that began new moon, and that the sun energy is still carrying on, this Sag energy. It's just being reflected within our own ambitions and outlook and perspective on how will my truth, how will what I'm looking at, my vision, my belief, impact humanity at large and the progression of humanity and benefit everybody in my community. And then once Thursday through Saturday comes along, we have the moon in Pisces. And this is something to look forward to because there's one Chiron, two Pisces. No, there's Chiron, Mars, and Neptune in Pisces, and the moon will conjunct in between Thursday and Saturday. So there's this feeling, my intuitive understanding of this energy is that there's gonna be a lot of like, feeling like things are surreal, feeling like there's just a lot of, like there's this hazy mist, or there's this incredible synchronistic feeling, you know? The moon will reflect Mars, the personal will align, Neptune, this cosmic ocean, Chiron, the inner healer. There's just a lot of that energy that's going to be activated within us. And like I said in the beginning, I want to speak to the archetypes and how I intuitively understand them, and let you individually kind of see for yourself from your own seat, your own depth of your soul, how this is showing up for you. This is that one life. This is my interpretation of it. And then you have your own actual experience of it and how it's manifesting for you. And so do all of us. So this is primarily the energy for the week. I thank you so much for fucking watching all the way up until this moment. If you watched this, please go ahead and leave a comment below. Let me know what you got out of this video. Like, how did this speak to your experience? Where and how specifically? This is just amazing to me because personally, it's showing up for me. I'll leave a comment below as to how it's affecting me, but I would really love to know how it's affecting anybody else. And hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new, and thank you for watching, as usual. Thank you, bye.